Here inside Citizens Bank Park in the dugout with Phillies catcher Garrett Stubbs. Garrett, appreciate your time, my friend. Good to see you. Let's talk about this year. It's gone much better recently than in the early stages of the season. How do you feel about where you guys are right now?
Really good. Obviously, we're pretty good at starting slow. The 2022 season kind of went like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny seeing, I've seen random tweets about where our record is versus last year versus the 2018.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
K-Long.
And so it's kind of interesting seeing that kind of stuff. Obviously, probably pretty meaningless, but the kind of baseball we've been playing recently and winning the ball games that we have against some really good teams.
Yeah.
Obviously really fun to be a part of, really fun to watch for the fans, and gives us some serious hope for the future of this season.
Yeah, the atmosphere has been great this year. It took you a little bit of time to build up to that last year, but what's it been like playing in front of mostly sellout crowds the entire time?
Yeah, the city of Philadelphia has definitely been feeding off that 2022 season, as they should. Before getting here, I had heard that there haven't been, I've also seen from, across the league,
sure.
Just that the Philly seasons hadn't exactly been going the way that the fans had been wanting. So I don't want to say the support wasn't necessarily there as much as it was this year, but
right.
That's probably pretty on par with what it was prior to the 2022 season. But, coming into 2023 and seeing how much the fans have been engaged with what has been going on now.
As we get the mower, coming through, you never know what's going to happen in the middle of it, right?
Yeah, we got to get the field ready for tonight's game.
Of course, it's the most important thing.
Thanks, buddy. No, it's definitely been really fun to see the fans come out and support the team and feeding off of that season from last year. So it's been feeding through what we've been doing on the field. Everyone loves coming out here, and Josh Harrison, who's new to our team and has
been around though, yeah.
For over a decade. He got here in April and started looking around, and it's a Wednesday night or Tuesday night,
yeah.
And it's a sellout crowd,
right.
And that's a lot of fun to play in front of. It's motivating, and definitely we feed off of that.
No offense to Pittsburgh, that probably wasn't happening in Pittsburgh.
They
have a great,
too,
that is true.
He's seen it.
What do you guys have to do then to finish strong and finish much in the way you did last year?
Keep playing the same kind of baseball we've been playing. I think April and May we weren't necessarily playing good baseball. I think the numbers were okay individually, but we weren't playing good baseball. Making mental mistakes, maybe some physical ones here and there, which happens.
Sure.
We're gonna make errors. We're gonna have points of the season where we're not getting runners in scoring position. But I feel like recently, and especially the last 2 maybe plus months, we've been playing good baseball, and it's been a fun brand of baseball to watch.
Your job is to know what's inside your pitchers' heads, to know them as well as you can. You've got 4 maybe of the best in the National League with Nola, Wheeler, Ranger. Taijuan Walker's been pitching out of his mind. I would think anyway, that Aaron probably isn't pitching the way he wants to right now. How does that change? Is there a mechanical thing there? Is it a mental thing? Is there something you guys see or is it just, the way that baseball goes sometimes?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's just the way baseball goes sometimes. You talk about getting to a pitcher's head. Us as catchers and us as pitchers and position players have all been adjusting to this pitch clock. And, you've heard the excuse from people around the league and whatnot, but we don't lean on that kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's been an adjustment.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it takes longer than a week, 2 weeks, month, or a couple months. So I think that's been a huge adjustment for everybody. And now coming into the summer months when it's going to be really, really hot, really, really humid.
You'd like to slow down a little bit, yeah.
No doubt. And we're going to have to try to find ways to catch our breath and get back on the mound and be able to make good pitches, or as batters, be able to take out the heat
right.
and be able to concentrate on your one at bat. But I think Aaron Nola, I promise you no one in our dugout or coaching staff is worried about how Aaron Nola is going to be pitching down the stretch here. He's a bona fide ace.
Sure.
We all know what he's capable of doing, and he hasn't maybe lived up to exactly what everyone was expecting this specific season so far. But we know how good of a player he is, and we fully expect him to be as good as we know he can be.
The bullpen since maybe mid-April, first couple of weeks of the season, as the mower makes its second appearance here on a Gallon of Questions podcast.
It's a long morning drive.
It is, really. the bullpen's been outstanding, and that's pretty much since the first 2 weeks of the season. I think they've got the best ERA since like April 15th. What are you seeing there? Because I think it was 2020, 2021, the Phillies had one of the worst bullpens in baseball, and they have completely flipped the script with that. Where do you think that comes from?
That's a good question. I mean, I know last year there were some new additions to the bullpen. This year there's been some new additions to the bullpen. But just beyond that, I think guys are getting more comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
And also just in the big leagues, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jose Alvarado. There's plenty of names in that bullpen, new guys like Greg Soto, who, come over here and have to get used to me and JT and
Sure.
how we want to call a game, how they want to pitch in the game, as well as coaching staff. And there's lots of adjustments that get made, especially on the pitching realm. It's a really tough position to be in, and knowing what the pitcher wants to do, what we want to do, what we want to do as a unit.
Sure.
And I think that last year, our bullpen was, I think, one of the worst in the league to start the year.
Yep.
And then it was a huge topic of discussion of, how's the bullpen going to do? Where are we going to get guys from other teams to make us better? And we didn't really go get too many guys besides David Robertson.
Yeah.
It's just the bullpen started to become who they get their culture and their personality out in the bullpen and getting into big spots in games. And then we saw it down the stretch in the playoffs. Guys just knowing exactly how they want to attack hitters and then executing that.
It's great to see Craig Kimbrell back to his all-star level.
No doubt.
And a guy like Jeff Hoffman, who comes out of nowhere and has been lights out. That to me is a lot of fun to watch.
And I think that's a huge testament to Caleb Cotham. He gets guys over here and really looks at what they're good at. And then we try to strengthen that. And then if there's weaknesses, we try to make those better. But we really hone in on the pitcher's strengths and lean on those.
Let's go back to last season and that crazy month plus, really, to get into the playoffs and then that run to the World Series. What do you remember most of, like, when you think back, when you look at photos and videos? Like, I'm sure that had to be a blast.
Yeah, I would say there's two things. One is the atmosphere, the fans, how much they're engaged in every single game, how much they make the other team uncomfortable while they're here.
Did you know they were this nuts?
Yeah,
You did.
I
Not
say
until
yes.
you get in.
I say yes. You hear everything from. I think if you asked somebody on any other team or any other fan base, who are the craziest fans in all of sports, they're probably going to say Philly.
Yeah.
And we got to experience that last year, both in the good and the bad.
Right, yeah.
We were terrible in the beginning, and we saw that. And then we were one of the best teams in the whole league last year, going to the World Series, and we saw that side too. The other thing that I would say that I remember from our run last year was the players and our culture in the locker room and how much fun everybody had. And even while there were moments where, we might have messed up, everyone in our dugout gave confidence to each other and knew that those things were going to happen, whether it was a big spot or a small spot.
Yep.
And made sure that, guys coming up, young, old, or in between, felt comfortable that they could go out there and play their brand of baseball. And I think we played a pretty fun brand last year and continuing that this year.
I will say this, as someone who grew up in this city, was here in 08, I think it was in college in 2008 when the Phillies won the World Series. To be in there and see the joy that you guys had was incredible. Not only that, I will say that I got more messages than maybe at any time in my entire life when I interviewed you and you had that beer box hat on in the clubhouse. That was one of the most ridiculous moments of the playoffs. But I think it's a testament to, like, keeping it. You guys were just loose by the end of the year, and it worked.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of dudes having fun playing a game, honestly, and obviously a bunch of guys that are really good at playing this game.
Yeah, right.
But I think that the keeping it light and all that kind of stuff helps us be at our highest level, and I think the beer box type of thing is just a testament to that.
Are we still dancing on my own? Are you guys still rocking with that? And because I know it came back after a hiatus, but are you still going with it?
So we ditched it at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Kind of made a point of ditching it.
Yeah.
Just try to start a new wave, keeping the past in the past.
Yep.
But we did bring it back after that national series, and it's still here.
It's
here to stay. I think it's a Philly staple. I think that we love jamming to it after wins, and I think the fans in this city love being a part of that culture in the locker room too. So I don't know if Dancing on My Own will be going anywhere in the foreseeable future.
All right, I like that. I like that. Our main anchor, one of our main anchors, her name is Jessica Cartalia. She is from Southern California. She's from Del Mar, actually, which is from. You're from Del Mar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys know the same places. So I've got some trivia, compliments of Jessica Cartalia here. Del Mar questions from Jess. This person played for Tom House at USC and won the Johnny Bench Award.
Well, I actually didn't play for Tom
You
House.
didn't?
No, but I got coached by Tom House all growing up.
Maybe that's what she meant.
He taught me how to throw a baseball from when I was 8 years old all the way till I got to USC, but he ended up not being the pitching coach when I actually
At that
got
time.
there. But Tom House and I are really good friends. We still keep in touch. One of the smartest baseball minds that I know.
Jess's dad is best friends with Tom House. So that's why she asked that question.
He's a great guy. Love that guy.
All right, next one. Better mascot, the Falcons or the Mavericks?
Oh, Falcons. Mavericks was our rival high school in Del Mar. Philip Evans went there, and some other names that have been to the big leagues.
You went to Torrey Pines?
I went to Torrey, yeah.
Yeah. Better dish, fish tacos or cheesesteak?
Oof. This one hurts for me to say, being in Philadelphia, but I think a lot of Philly people would agree with me on certain fronts, but fish tacos just hit different when you're sitting by the water in San Diego at a place like the Brigantine. It's just a different feeling for me.
Favorite sandwich from Board and Brew?
Oof. If you are ever in San Diego, we play there in September. If you're in San Diego for our series against the Padres, go into Board and Brew. I get a turcado with the sweet and sour sauce.
When you know the menu, that's a problem.
I'm dialed in. I grew up maybe 3 minutes from Board and Brew, so that was my daily routine.
All right, last one from Jess. Name a former MLB player with a house on the beach in your hometown.
Ooh.
Could be many, but she's got one name
There are
here.
a couple. Steve Finley's one.
Oh, Steve Finley.
He's got two houses on the beach,
Great.
and he painted them hot pink and lime green.
That's awesome.
And then another one who I've become good friends with over the years is Trevor Hoffman.
That is the correct answer, Trevor Hoffman.
I played volleyball, beach volleyball with his kids in the summers, so he's a great dude and good family.
That's awesome. All right, now I got the real questions. Gallon of questions.
Okay.
Gallon can dig in there. We'll see what we get. There's all sorts of random stuff in there.
Jessica, if she was rooting for the Padres or the Phillies this weekend.
Well, I think we know the answer. She wants to get her paycheck.
Best thing you've watched recently?
Yeah.
I recently last night, I recently started watching Dave, which is
for the first. You've never seen any.
I've never seen Dave. I watched the first 2 episodes last night, which is a good one for Philadelphia fans too.
It's gonna blow your mind.
From Philadelphia.
It's out there, man. It's crazy.
He threw out the first pitch about a month ago.
Yeah,
that's
right.
one that I recently started watching, and I'm gonna continue to watch. It's a good one.
It's crazy. Peanut butter and jelly or Nutella?
Ooh, I definitely have more peanut butter and jellies, but Nutella's an all-time one for me.
It really is good,
If that's
right?
on the dessert menu,
You're getting it.
I'm scoring with that one.
All right, let's see here. Start, bench, cut. Citizens Bank Park, Petco Park, or Minute Maid Park?
Wow.
Start, bench, cut. Yeah, well, we have to.
Citizens Bank Park by far has the best atmosphere out of any ballpark I've ever been to. Petco Park, best food hands down. Their food at Petco Park.
And the lawn out there, man. It's such a good time.
It's
fun.
Cool. I grew up going to those games.
Yeah.
My grandparents were season ticket holders.
Oh, that's cool.
It is a good spot.
So we'll cut Minute Maid Park. Let's see.
Minute Maid Park got cut.
It's kind of cool being in there.
It is cool. It was really fun last year. And I've had some phenomenal memories there as well.
I bet. Teammate who is the best dancer?
Ooh, I've been asked this before, and I go with Kyle Schwarber every time. Not because his dance moves are actually good, but because he has no fear when he is doing his dance moves.
I like that.
And the energy is
That's the best kind. The best kind. Best moment of your career?
Last year, Bryce Harper homer against the Padres. Sorry, hometown, but that was by far the greatest moment I've ever been a part of. Probably the greatest moment for a lot of people, especially from Philadelphia. Yeah. But even across the country, I know a lot of people were rooting for the Phillies last year to win the World Series. And
when he hit that, it sounded like a jet engine.
I've never heard a bigger crowd get louder than that.
Well, this is a good question because I came up with it. How many beers did you drink after winning the NLCS?
I'm not great at math, so I don't know if I can count
Not a math guy.
The beers that I had. But, I mean, we took it from the locker room, drinking, over to Xfinity Live, to, I mean, we were everywhere. So I don't know if I have an exact number
Lots. For you. Surf, ski, or snowboard?
So I skied growing up.
Okay.
But I was Definitely a surfer. You know, there's mountains nearby to go skiing and snowboarding and whatnot, but I surfed in the summers just about every
Yeah,
single
right.
day.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Is Scooby-Doo a superhero?
According to Nick Castellanos, Scooby-Doo is a superhero, and I'm not going to fight him on it.
Yeah.
His argument's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So if he wants Scooby-Doo to be his superhero, that's completely fine with me. And
That's
if
good.
kids want to follow suit, go for it.
I like it. All right, we got a couple more here. See if we can get them. Goofiest pitcher on the staff?
Oof. Right now, goofiest pitcher on the staff might be Ranger Suarez. He is hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's a starting pitcher because on his, 4 days that he gets off that he's
Yeah.
not pitching, he gets to be in the dugout with us and keep
off.
it light. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
he's hilarious.
If you could only listen to one band the rest of your life, which band would it be?
Ooh. I'm a big John Mayer fan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I listen to John Mayer a lot, and I probably go with him.
John
He
Mayer.
hasn't made a lot of new music recently.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's been with the Dead, right? He's been like touring
Yeah,
with
so
them.
he does Dead & Co. now,
Yeah.
and haven't had an opportunity to watch him there, but I think he's playing at Citizens Bank at one point.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you were a baseball, would you rather get hit by Bryce Harper or Kyle Schwarber's
on.
bat?
Oh,
So you're headed in there at 100 miles an hour. Who do you want to get hit by?
Exit velo, I think I don't know. Who gets it up there more? Schwarb's obviously hit that one off of Yu Darvish last year in San Diego. That probably would hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Schwarb's.
Schwarb's.
Yeah, I've seen some absolutely colossal home runs from that guy.
That foul ball he hit the other day was like, he almost hit it out of the entire stadium. I've never
And
seen anything like that.
Schwarb's sneaky has some of the hardest hit foul balls out of anybody. So those are some
Last
pretty
one
hard hit balls.
for you.
If you were broken down on the side of the road, first teammate who would show up to help, Reese Hoskins.
Yeah.
And that's a quick one because that guy's an all-time teammate. He's hurt right now,
Yeah,
obviously.
sure.
But here, since he's been able to be in the dugout, and even before that, he was in the locker room
Yep.
and people didn't see it. But he doesn't have to be
Sure,
around.
sure.
He's doing rehab. But he's here every single day, watching the entire game, supporting his teammates. And I think that's just a testament to who he is as a guy. But yeah, that's my first phone call. He's an unbelievable teammate. We wish that we still had him this year.
Yeah.
Both physically in the game to help us win, but also just being in the locker room. He's an all-time guy, and I hope the future is really good for him, and I hope it's in Philly. 'Cause
Sure,
I know he would
agree.
like that the same way too.
How would you grade his mustache?
Pretty elite.
It's
I think
pretty
if he,
good,
if
right?
He just shaved it down. The beard was also really awesome. I like the mustache look. I think he's a facial hair guy. He didn't, it took him a while to figure that out, but I think it's gonna stay.
The stash is classic. Garrett, appreciate you, my friend.
thanks,
Good to
man.
catch up with you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.